I think we can all say 2020 has been quite the year in our personal lives and at work. We are living through a pandemic that none of us have been having to deal with in our lifetime. And we've overcame a lot of obstacles. And I think as a team, we've gotten closer together than we've ever been. Not physically, but emotionally. And there's just been so many good memories we did make this year, even though there's been so many obstacles. And I think it shows that we can really turn down the bad days and make them better. Even when the world's against us, we'll always fight back.
You guys remember when I had a full head of hair at the start of this year? Hey!
Nope.
I think she has a really good point as far as memories through this year that really were unexpected. I mean, there's a couple things for me that stand out that I'm just very impressed with, things that made us, we kind of stepped up and met the challenge. And our ONX at Home program, the virtual tastings, every week that I hear the update on how many kits that we've sold is just so impressive.
It takes me back to March when there was so much uncertainty and we didn't know what Q4 of the year was going to look like. We knew it was going to be different, but there was absolutely no way of knowing how we were going to come out the other end of it. And as far as what this team and everybody kind of threw their hat in and their efforts and their just all of themselves into it over the last 8 months, it's just amazing. I don't think I could have been optimistic about what we could accomplish as a team, but there's no way I could have anticipated this kind of resounding effort and residual success from that. So it's a true testament to everybody's willpower.
Especially when we came to work every day and it was like, okay, what's happening today? What's the new thing going on today? What do we have to tackle? And we tackled it as a team. Like, it was not as big as we anticipated when we were all together.
On that note for the virtual program, like I distinctly remember in the tasting room, like assembling the kits, and and Kevin was there, Ryan was there, Sarah was there, and I was like, I asked everybody, how many kits do you guys think we're gonna get through in the first month of this program being launched? Daryl, I think you were there. I said 600. Everybody else lowballed it. They're like, 250, 300, if that. And I thought, what did we do?
We all lowballed it, I think, yeah.
To be fair, I ordered supplies to make 100 kits initially.
Yeah. And then we kept having to order more, and then more, and then just like, we just need to order
a pallet.
Like, a pallet. Can we do a pallet? Let's do it.
And then it became 3 pallets. And
I think talking also like about, people outside of our team, I think we did a lot as a team, and I think what we did was also bring joy to other people and hope to other people. And, when we first, put the virtual program out, or when we first reopened our doors for safe tastings by appointment, or even when we were just answering the phone and we didn't know what we were going to do, we were always met with people who also wanted to connect with other humans and wanted to talk about what was going on and wanted to talk about what people could do to feel positive during that. And I really felt it was great that whether it was through the virtual tastings or through just talking to someone for 15 minutes on the phone that would normally be a 3-minute phone call pre-COVID, now people want to
Curbside
chat.
Kevin.
Curbside Kevin. We had our curbside stand, where almost like a lemonade stand, but the adult lemonade, So we had all kinds of ways that we were really trying to connect with people and bring a smile to someone or make people feel good, even if it was just for a moment. And I think that we all did that. And that was really really a positive thing that we were all able to come together and accomplish.
Well, and that's what's cool too, being able to do this job and connect other people with each other, but as a team connecting with each other too, we're all going through this together, and to be able to come to work and do something that felt good for other people, that made other people feel good, was an awesome opportunity, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I personally very excited once we reopened the vacation rentals, talking with the guests on the phone and just really feeling their sense of relief that now they can go somewhere, it's a good place to meet and celebrate and have a reunion, just with their friends in one space. And it's still happening. They're just, excited and refreshed that this is a place that they can come to and spend in a beautiful spot, together.
I think my toughest point during all of this was at the start of COVID, when there was so much uncertainty, sitting there awake in bed at night, just thinking, how long can we carry the staff that we have? Are we going to have to lay people off? And, I think through the incredible efforts of the team here and the proof of concept on a number of different things we tried, I'm proud to say we were able to not just push through that, but literally to generate so much work and ability to work with our customers and find new customers that we've not only had to hire people, but we're still hiring people. Like, we still don't have enough bodies to do the work that we have. So being able to, in some even just small way, be a job generator during this pandemic, I think is something the team can be really proud of.
And I think one of the best things we did this year was with the club, opening their club gifts that we sent out, or their club box, and how much work Danielle and the team put into it. They felt special opening it up and getting the magazine and just seeing the box. And I feel like people really, that was something to brighten people's moods, and little stuff like that we realized goes a long way during this time.
Can't forget about the penguins.
The penguin. And the penguins.
Right? Yeah.
Lots of penguins went out.
Back in March, and the days felt like they got slower, and we're like, how are we going to get through this? And here we are over 6 months later, and
we're almost in 2021.
2021,
Crazy. It actually flew by. Yeah.
I think people being separated and quarantined really made society as a whole look at themselves and see how much they valued human connection. And I feel that personally too, because being stuck up at home and plans for the year being torched and put away, and then getting to come to work with all of you, and just the joy that brought. And I feel like that is what resonated out in every single thing that we did. So it was definitely the culture within that spread out, and it's what's going to guide us in the future too.
And I think it really shows what I feel is the most relevant and maybe important part of wine, even as a product or a tool. I don't think anyone, when asked what the best bottle of wine they ever had is, sits there and says, oh, it was this wine because it had just the right balance of cassis with pyrazines, with raspberry. I think most people, their favorite bottle is attached to a memory of sharing it with people they really care about. A great conversation, or a bad joke, or just a stupid experience. And I truly think wine is the most experiential product out there, and ultimately it reminds us it's not about trying to sell a bottle of wine or make the perfect thing. It's about creating something that people can share together and experience together.
Remember the phone calls that would come in? People would just talk and talk. You couldn't get them off the phone because they just wanted to talk to somebody different.
Absolutely, yeah. They just wanted to connect. One of my first private virtual tastings I did, I was on with this lovely woman, and not all of the group had come on yet. And all of a sudden she started to cry. And I was a little taken aback by that. And I thought, well, sometimes people cry once the wine is gone, but usually not at the beginning. So I said, well, if you want to share, I'm happy to listen, and nobody else is here, it's just you and I. And she said, this is just so beautiful, which is not what I expected her to say. And she said, this is the first time in 6 weeks that I've felt normal. And I still thinking about that, I get chills, and I just think about, it's amazing how when we focus not on what's terrible in the world while being conscious of it, but focus rather on what we are grateful for. A wise person once told me that gratitude is the root of joy, and I think that's been more true this year than any other time.
We've had a lot of reminders of that, I think, throughout this year too. Like Kevin was saying about that virtual tasting, a lot of the ones that I give, people are saying, oh, we've been looking forward to this all week, or this is going to be the highlight of my day. And it's so easy to get caught up in, I mean, day to day, I'm doing logistics, you know, the different shipping, packing, all these little things. And I'm like, okay, trying to crank stuff out. But then at the end of the day, you're reminded why you're doing that. And the fact that it's like the biggest part of this person's week or maybe even month, and they're sharing that with you is really special. And it really does give you like the energy and fill your passion to keep going, for sure.
I mean, COVID aside, right? Friends and family who live across the country haven't had the opportunity to see each other on a regular basis. Financial reasons, time constraints, full-time jobs, etc. You know, this has allowed us to have them reconnect on a much more regular basis, but also experience it with us, and we get to share that with them. It's great.
It's really special.
Yeah, very, very meaningful.
You know, there's a lot of emotion that we get to experience with them while providing a tasting.
It's interesting to see too that while we've doubled the size of our patio and the craftsmen who did this work, they are so incredibly talented, and they did an absolutely beautiful job, that unless you saw the patio in its original form, you really can't tell that it's not one build. And so many people have come and, wow, you guys are so lucky to have this big outdoor space. And it's just another reminder, yeah, we are so lucky to have this big outdoor space. But seeing people taste outside, it's been this really beautiful observation that when people are tasting outside, they're more into each other, into the wines. They listen to what their steward has to say, I think in a way that deepens their appreciation and their experience of the wine. And so I think things that, without actually knowing it, valuing those kinds of connections, as you were saying, Christopher, I think has been a really beautiful thing to see.
And I think like internally, all of us, I mean, they say that you spend more time with your coworkers than your own family. And I mean, we've kind of always been like that. But this year we kind of went through the pandemic together, and I mean, we're still going through it together. And there's days when people are super stressed out or down. And I feel like we're really good at noticing those things now, because we all like know each other pretty well. And it's nice having a team behind you that supports you and will help you on these days, because we have them more often this year than we have in the past.
2 years ago, there was so much conversation about, you know, as this brand was a burgeoning brand. We just finished our 11th vintage. I think in the grand scheme of this brand, that's pretty infancy status. You know, there's a lot of possibility and a lot of potential. And just 2 years ago, we were talking about that potential, and the main question that was being talked about is, who are we? What do we stand for? And what do we want to express who we are to the world? And it was back then, that exercise of trying to figure that out was really difficult. And I think everybody kind of had their own maybe interpretation of who we were, who this brand is, what do we stand for. And there's a lot of negative that's happened this year, but it has also forced us to evaluate, and I think it's actually culminated into who we actually are. And that's just really resonated, just like you said. People feel that, they sense it. It doesn't have to be spoken. It doesn't have to be expressed overtly. It can be very subconscious. It can be very in the subtext of when they step into the room and they just feel it.
What are we all looking forward to in like 2021 and the future post-COVID maybe?
I'm looking forward to what I'm always looking forward to, which is spending more time with my family and having meaningful connections with people that I care about. Whether that's people that I work with, customers that we've gotten to know. So looking forward to continuing to see how wine brings us together.
Always pulls on the heartstrings. It gets me every time. Yep.
It's just how I feel. Yeah. Imagine
Most
being a big
emotional
sap
white
like
man in
this.
history. I love you. Oh!
Oh, baby, you said it.
Well, I think despite everything that's happened this year, a stern reminder has been Mother Nature, and there's certainly been their own bag of tricks and toils that we've dealt with this year, but looking forward to another awesome vintage in the vineyard. I feel like the farming on the ONX properties really come about, and really the vineyards are expressing themselves. The wines, despite the really tumultuous growing season, have been showing really amazing from the 2020 vintage. So I'm really looking forward to another year of working with these sites.
I think one of the cool things this year has reminded me of too is just the incredible resiliency of humankind as a species. I mean, you look at not just all the ridiculous conditions we faced this year. It's been like, oh, here's a pandemic. Oh, on top of that, we're gonna give you 4 ridiculous heat waves, and we're gonna set your state in Australia on fire, and you know, everything else going on. People can survive pretty much anything, and we may gripe about it, but we're all going to persevere and work together and fight our way through.
We're almost on the other side. Oh, so close. One of these days.
I like getting together with loved ones.
Yeah, our table is
looking warningly at the
Was someone holding up the cue card?
He was over there.
Yeah, but that's what's the exciting about 2021.
Yes.
That's I've been looking
Bringing
forward
it
to.
home.
My family does this huge thing every year, and I'm not going this year, which is really sad. But I think it's made me realize like how important going to that is at the end of harvest. Like, especially Drew can understand, like working insane hours. It's like that's always been this thing that I like majorly look forward to. Yeah, exactly. It's like a whole week with my family, like by the beach and stuff. So I don't know. I really look forward to that next year, and even Christmas. Hopefully, things are a little bit better. But
We appreciate all of our customers and viewers. Thank you for being a part of our community, and thank you for letting us be a part of yours. Cheers to you guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Gross.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.